Raceway. We're fixing to get underway here shortly. It is 2:57 p.m. Our race is planned on to be started at about 3 o'clock. We're going to go out here and have a few words here with our racers before they get started. Current lineup in the Little Rumble tonight: Weston Durham, Jackson Darty, Carson Ross, and Wyatt Hambrick. Wyatt Hambrick, a new racer here tonight, going to show his skills here. Just new to block car racing in general, but so far what I've seen, not too bad. He's going to have some stuff he's going to have to work on, but happy birthday to him nonetheless. He just let us know a while ago he had a birthday. We're going to head out there and we're going to have a few words with these guys, and I'll see you here shortly. All right, racers. Go. All right, Action Jackson himself. So Jackson, you've been so far successful in two of the two races we've had for Little Rumble. Do you see that there's anything that's going to change today? Have you done anything new to your car? Let the fans know what they're to expect with you today.
I did change my gear in my car to make it a little faster, but non-split. And we got a new person joining us today. I want to see what and hope I can win.
All right. For those that don't know, he didn't actually change his gear ratio. It's the same gear ratio. It's a 929. He changed the parts out for more premium parts that we have here at Raceway. This is all within the rules. Gear 29. Out there watching you tonight. All right, Weston Durham, also known. So you've been right there around the second and third position tonight, or well, the past couple races. Do you see that tonight you might, or today you might change that, and maybe even possibly tonight in the Rookie Rumble?
I'm gonna get first.
You're going to get first in the Little Rumble, or are you going to get first in both?
Both.
Both? All right. I love to hear it. I'm glad that you've changed from saying you just don't want to finish last to now you're wanting to finish first. I love to hear that. That tells me that you're getting a little more confident in your driving style. If you could change one thing about your car today, or have you changed anything about your car today, what would it be?
I haven't changed anything, but what I would like to change would be my gear ratio.
Well, you can't change the gear ratio unless it's a 929 or 1032. But I believe you already have a Parma pink gear in the back, so you're pretty much the same as everybody else, are you not?
No, I do not.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, at any time that you can do that. Of course, this doesn't mean a speed advantage. It's quiet for speed-wise acceleration. It's still a 9. We require all Little Rumblers to run. Well, Weston, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there rooting for you. I know I'm hoping you finally be able to take home the first place here tonight. But good luck to you, Weston. You got anything?
Give up.
I love it. Great words of encouragement. All right, racer number 3 here, Carson Ross over here, ladies and Carson, I know that you recently did a whole rear end rebuild on your car to the stainless steel sorter end pinion of a 9-tooth from ARP and a 29-tooth crown gear from Parma. Do you feel that the car's a lot quieter now that you've done that?
Oh, yeah. Like, so much quieter.
Well, do you think that just that alone helps a person race just a little bit better, kind of keeps them out of their head?
I would say, like, since it's not louder, you can focus more on the car instead of, like, noise that's coming into your ears, into your brain. That makes you focus less because there's more noise. So you would get, like, more focus because less noise.
All right. Well, with that being said, are you going to be running for first place today?
Maybe, but my main goal is trying to get second place. Not third or fourth today.
All right. Well, Carson, as long as it's better than what it was the previous week, that's admirable. Keeping things within expectation. Carson, is there anything you want to tell your fans before you go over and get ready to race?
Y'all are cool.
All right, ladies and as you can tell, our racers are eager. Our new racer, Wyatt Hambrick, he is getting his car ready to go. I believe that's his white car down there on orange right now. You can see maybe from the camera. I'm not for sure. But Victory Lane is looking for these guys for sure. So we're going to go on. I'm going to head back into the booth. Of course, T's going to be our track marshal again today for the Little Rumble. And I know these guys are eager, biting at the bit, ready to go racing. So stay tuned with us, and we'll be going back racing here very shortly. Also, you'll notice something about the updated laps. We've updated those today. You can now see how many races each individual person has actually raced. So that gives you more of an idea about where they stand. So some people are really high up right now, but they've ran quite a few more races than others. So keep your eye out on that whenever we go to commercial break during the intermissions. But I'll see you guys back in the booth, and I'll be back here just in a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I am back in the booth now. Like I said, the kids eager, ready to go. You can see there are 4 cars there lined up at the start-finish line at the backside of the track over there by Wyatt right now currently. Everybody's eager, ready to go racing. I'm going to make an announcement over the intercom, and we're going to get going green racing. All right, little rumblers, are y'all ready? Give me a thumbs up. I got 1 thumbs up, that's good enough. All right, watch your lights. All right, as we go green racing here, exciting to see the new racer, Wyatt Hambrick, to see if he's going to be able to race with these guys. And a happy birthday to him. I seen a little bit of the racing he was doing earlier, and I'll tell you what, very impressed with right out of the gate skill that he was acquiring there, keeping his car on. As you can tell right now, he's keeping that car on pretty well. These cars you do have to let off and brake in the corners, and for someone to never do it before and actually possess that type of skill to be able to keep it on as long as he has, it shows that there is potential for sure. But it looks like Carson, he said he was wanting to go for second place right now out of the gate. He is running in first place with 11 laps total and a best time of a 2.3. Jackson still very confident in the way that he races. Right now with a 2.55 in second place with 12 laps. Him and Weston kind of getting somewhat of a rivalry going on as we get a 3-pile car up. Every single car on the whole track piled up there. Get a track call there by my wife. We call that a full-blown J here at Lanes Raceway. Made famous by Jay Latham in our pro class in the first series we had, the NASCAR series. He walked out the whole field. We had a full team of 8 rolling on the track at the time he did it. He wiped every single person out. So for those that don't know, that's why we call it a full-blown J. And we can see here that the white lane and the red lane, Jackson and Weston, they're neck and neck. We see Jackson very much on the inside line there, holding it down the best that he can. But everybody kind of somewhat spreading out as we see the orange car, Wyatt, now trying to increase a little bit of speed there. Coming off there, catching what seems to be Weston. catching Weston there in his lane. Looked like Weston was grabbing Jackson's car, playing a little joke there. That just shows you how the rivalries are starting to pick up a little bit in the Little Rumble series. So we see Jackson there in second place. Carson in first, though, out leading a nice smooth transition with the new gear ratio he just got recently. Like he said, you know, the loud noises of these cars, you can hear some of them still using the old gears. Those Cox gears are extremely hard. They're not necessarily bad gears. It's just that you have to run them so tight that there's no play in the rear end. I guess this would help considerably when it comes to braking, of course, you know, because the gear is a little bit more meshed up in there. So braking and probably accelerating, you could probably go a little bit quicker, but there's something to be said about smoothness in these cars too, and just your car running a lot quieter goes a long way. I prefer myself a smoother, more quiet type ride like Carson and Jackson's got going on with theirs with the stainless steel pinion and the Parma pink crown gear, because you like just pretty much like Carson was saying, you just go really quiet. You don't have to focus on the noise of the car, and I believe that you can get a lot more done doing that concentration-wise versus having to deal with the constant noise of a stock one. But nonetheless, they're still very, very comparable for sure in speed. As you can see, Weston and Jackson tied on laps there. And of course, Jackson had the inside line. So for that matter alone, it goes to show you that it doesn't make them any faster. It makes them quieter, more smoother around the corners. I guess less bound up, in my opinion. But I mean, I guess that would equate to somewhat of speed. But at the same time, when they're not really bound up and tight like that, you're not getting the good braking and the good acceleration. So it kind of equals itself out. 1 minute and 38 seconds. I'm going to take you guys over here to our updated, if I can find my mouse. Oh, my mouse shut off. There we go. If I can find my mouse here, take you to the updated standings here. As you can see here in the Little Rumble, we got Jackson Daugherty, 2 of 5 races. He's running a total points of 586. That means 586 total laps ran. Weston Durham there, 2 of 5 with 532. And then Carson with 369, only running 1 race. So today Carson will have 2, and then after today, Jackson and Weston will have 3 of their 5. And then we'll also see Wyatt Hambrick. He'll be added to the list also today. With his 1 of 5 race. 5 races is what we require to be in the runnings. Right now we see Jackson Daugherty out in the lead. He's also in the lead for the Rookie Rumble Series too. 40 seconds left to go. I'm going to head back over and see if the guys are ready. We might just go ahead and skip through. All right, racers, are you ready? All right, watch your lights. I talked to the racers earlier today, and last week I felt bad for them. You guys know that our LMP series race, it ran a little bit long, and we had some issues there, a lot of wrecking. So not only did we spend a lot of time, about 6 or so hours, working on the track to help it be a little bit more smoother so we don't have as many incidents, but also I talked to the guys, and I was like, hey, do y'all want to run them back to back? Little Rumble, then Rookie Rumble. But then I was told by them they like being around Lanes Raceway and hanging out watching the races. So we're just going to continue on with our regular schedule. And at 5:30, of course, after this race at 5:30, we will be running the LMP Thunder Series, which is our Pro Class series. And they'll be running on the orange track. You can kind of see it twinkling back there in the background. But then immediately after that, we'll be running our Rookie Rumble just like last week. I think we got started around 9 o'clock last week. It ran just a little bit late. But there was quite a few wrecks. Now, before the race started also here on the Little Rumble, we did freshly glue the track right there in the tri-oval dog leg there, just to the left of your screen, your racetrack screen. And then right before Dead Man's Corner to help the guys kind of stop a little bit better and get that kind of motion, that smooth motion that they're going to need if they want to step up in class. Of course, the Little Rumble and the Rookie Rumble, both rookie classes. And it's just meant to help drive these guys to race a little bit better and learn the rhythm of the tribal first and then move up to the orange track. Now, once they learn that stuff, they can move up into the intermediate class or the pro class, either one. And, you know, it just helps them. There's some benefits to racing in these classes. Of course, racing in the rookie classes, they don't run for money. They legit just run for track time. I think 6 months ago for the rookie series. Rookie Rumble, and the Little Rumble, they're running for a car for first place. And also first place is going to be able to hoist up a check. So literally in Little Rumble, they are running for first place. We also have been gifted a little 4-inch Flexi 2 go-kart from fellow pro racer Jay Latham out of the LMP Thunder Series. He's been in every one of our series, actually, Jay has. And I believe he's working on a pretty cool little setup today as he's got him some new bodies and stuff. But he is donated for second place for the Little Rumblers. Whoever gets second place is going to be able to get that little go-kart body that he's got painted up. Looks like Wario from Mario Kart. But after that heat there, we see Carson Ross still out in the lead with 100 laps, followed by Jackson with 92, Weston with 90, and Wyatt Hembrick there with 73. Not too bad for a first outing. I know. That's the third time we've heard it. My wife said, don't forget to let him know. Today is his birthday. It is his birthday. We're going to take a small break. I'm going to leave you guys with the updated June leaderboard pinball times, and I'll be right back with you. All right, and we're back. All right, racers, watch your lights. I went out there just a few seconds ago, kind of smoothed out the glue. Some of the glue had already leaked down the track a little bit, so I smoothed that out on their lanes a little bit. That'll help them just a little bit more, get some of that glue spread out on the track, help them be a little more smoother in their transition through the dead man's corner. We see a hard acceleration done there by Wyatt, giving it just a little too much there on the red lane, causing the back end to step out. This is an issue for some. I know when we first started, it was an issue for Randy and Glenn Burton. We still call those guys, what do we call them? That just slipped my head. When I remember, I'll let you know. Bobby Pierce. I knew it was going to come to me sooner than later. But yeah, we still call them Bobby Pierce around here at Lanes Raceway because they like to step them back ends out on black lane on orange and really crank it there on the red lane. Wyatt there, of course, running a stock body. It's a little bit longer than the other bodies, but those are what the cars come with, and that's what we had on hand. The other guys, they have stepped up to running a little bit quicker, little aggressive turn there. But they have stepped up to running the Parma bodies. They're a little bit more durable. They're already pre-cut out of the box, so you don't have to worry about miscutting them and stuff like that. But nonetheless, they're still, as you can tell, neck and neck with each other there. There down on blue, we got Weston. Up top, like I said, we got Wyatt. We can still hear some whining from both Wyatt and Carson's cars. It's not that their cars are bad. It's just that they're running those harder gears. They make a little bit more noise. The softer gears, of course, not much difference in price. I think the black gears, the harder gears, the Cox gears, they're $4, and then our Parma gears are $7. So, you know, you pay a little bit more to get a smoother sounding gear, essentially. I just got out there and talked to Carson during the break, and he says, man, I feel like I'm cheating. It's so much smoother. And, you know, this is the way that most people think whenever they swap out to those type of gears. We get a red flag rotation there. We can see Carson still out in the lead there with 152 total laps, followed by Jackson with 140. Weston there, he's got 136, and newcomer Wyatt 114, running a pretty impressive red lane, to be honest, there with 41 total laps for his first outing. To be right there running with Jackson and Weston, that is pretty good. These guys got a couple races under their belt, so you know, to be running there, right there with him, he's going to fall right in with the rest of them quite well. And I think as long as he does a little bit of practicing and stuff, for sure they're going to be neck and neck before the season's over with. All right, going to take you over here to the series standings, let you guys take a look at that for a little bit, and we'll be right back with you whenever these guys are ready to go back racing. All right, 1 second left to go. We're going to see those beautiful lights drop out, and we're going to see some more racing here. Looks like I got a little shadow on my face here for some reason today. So I'm moving my light around a little bit. There we go. Looks a little better. A little light on my face. Underneath me, it's looking a little weird. Carson's still out in the lead there. Now he's on the bottom lane. He's going to start heading up after this, and the next 4 lanes here are going to get a little bit tough for him as everybody else is going to start coming down lower. We can see Carson coming off there on black lane, but he's still holding it down. Right behind him, though, is Jackson, running 150. He just let me know he lost a bet. I don't know who he betted, but nonetheless, he lost a bet, he said, for coming off. So he made a bet that he would not come off at all during this race. I pretty much told him earlier today that's almost impossible on the oval track, is you're reliant on everybody else not to come off just as much as you coming off. Because that dead man's corner collects a lot of victims. As we can see right there, 2 victims getting caught up in the mess there, Weston and Wyatt there. Wyatt's still trying to learn his rhythm. He'll get it learned down here before the series is over with. It doesn't take a whole lot of skill to figure out the rhythm on a tri-oval track. And that's the whole beauty about it is once you figure out how the trigger works, then you can move up to more difficult tracks, kind of like the orange. As we see Wyatt there kind of stepping around there around the high banks, that almost looks like a dirt car going around there. He's packing that left front, ladies and gentlemen. But nonetheless, Jackson right there in second place, 10 laps down from him. 8 laps down from Jackson, we got Weston in third place with 172. And Wyatt there, another 30 or so laps down from Weston, just learning his grips. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this class is meant for the kiddos. $10 to enter the series, and they race all the way till the end of August for free every Sunday. And it just gets them used to the racing, how that we do the racing with the stickers on the cars, and lets them get used to getting into racing without having those butterflies in bigger events. You know, I mean, it never changes, no matter when you start a race or not. You always have those butterflies starting out. When you lose those butterflies, I almost think it takes a little bit of the edge away from you. Well, we can see Carson still out there in the lead with 204. Jackson 192 after that heat. Weston 186 and 150 of Wyatt. We can also see that Jackson is going to start heading down to them lower lanes, followed by Wyatt too. So Wyatt's going to start increasing his average. He may be able to pull up above Weston if he can keep it on in them lower lanes. Also Jackson there, he's going to be increasing his from his 48 average as he's going to start moving up. Carson is actually going to start losing a little bit of his average coming up. Probably not next heat, but when he gets into the orange heat, he will start losing a little bit of lap time simply because the track gets longer as you go up. But nonetheless, these kids, they just love being around each other, hanging out, and having a good time racing. We like to get their pictures, first, second, and third. But here lately, we've just been taking a picture of everybody that's been in the rookie series. And I think that's a little bit more enjoyable, seeing everybody putting up bunny ears and having a good old time. I love to see these kids just have a good time. So I'll leave you with the pinball scores. About 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'll be right back with you. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I smell it.
All right, racers, watch your lights. These guys, they do very little maintenance on their cars. They don't really know exactly how to do it perfectly yet. You know, not any of these kids have yet bought glue, oil, tire tools, or anything like that. We're kind of taking care of them right now while they get their feet wet, try to understand slot car racing. I just did a test with Weston earlier before the race started. He brought me a car, he kept bringing me cars in here, and he's like, this car's bent, this car's this, and I said, okay. I said, well, what's bent about it? And he's like, well, it's just bent in the back. I said, where at in the back? And he's like, the tire. And I go, where at on the tire? He's like, I don't know. And I was just like, well, you don't know if it's bent. I said, well, you got to show me where it's bent. You know, and that's what we want to try to teach the kids. Like, I need to know what side's bent, which side's lower, which side's higher, if it's in the rear that's lower, or if it's in the front. Like, these are the things that help those kids understand how to fix their own cars. Because if they could just keep bringing it into me and I keep fixing it for them, they never learn anything. So we want these kids to learn how to work on their own cars, so that way when they do step up into the Pro Series, where we really can't help these kids. You know, because it's not fair to everybody else. You know, then that way they got a little bit of a footing knowing like, hey, I know why my car's acting this way. My guide flag's bent down, or my guide flag's bent up from a big wreck, or, you know, I got the rear end bent because I took a big wall hit, or I got hit in the back end. or my axle's bent, you know, I've stripped a gear, whatever it may be. We need to have these kids be able to diagnose these problems. And I think it also, too, with that diagnosing of those problems, they can also take that to the real world when it comes to cars. Look at this 3 wide we got going on here. Black, purple, and a little touch there on yellow from Carson. Carson getting knocked off by Jackson down there on purple. On black, we got Weston. They're all three there neck and neck again. As we see Jackson rolling in there deep again, he's taking out the whole field. As we see Carson's car go all the way down into the center lane here, ladies and gentlemen. 24 seconds left to go. Carson's car is underneath the high banks portion of the track. Whew, these boys can't hold 3 wide very long before, man. We see Wyatt there taking advantage of everybody else coming off the track. You got to admire the kid's courage to go ahead and put that trigger down while everybody else is just busted up. Jackson causing so much damage here, ladies and gentlemen, coming around that corner hot. I don't think I've ever seen a car go so far in my life other than Carson. So if we get one car still left to go, that's Weston. He's making up laps right now. Weston gets involved in an incident, him and Carson both. These kids are getting excited out there. Several wrecks taking place. My wife gets them put back on in a quick-like fashion. It looks like we might be going back 3 wide here yet again. The excitement's getting beyond belief here. We see Wyatt there on the outside lane there of blue. He's coming off. We see Dana trying to vigorously get him put back on. A little trouble with the guide flag sticking to the right side on that car, so it's a little bit tough to keep that going. At the end of this heat, we got Carson still out in the lead with 251, followed by Jackson with 247. Weston with 236. Just like I said, you're going to see Jackson start increasing those lap times averages, and also seeing Wyatt increase his as he goes lower. So we're going to continue on. It's going to be a couple minutes, maybe less. Depends on how fast these guys get their cars worked on. But we'll be right back with you, and this time we'll leave you with the pinball scores. All right, racers, are you ready? Yes, sir. Watch your lights. All right, we're back here, round robin 6 of 8. Carson's still out in the lead. Carson feeling a little bit of the pressure from Jackson. As he was worried there when I talked to him after the heat. I said, man, that's the farthest I've ever seen any car go. He was a little bit worried there that Jackson might catch him here on Black Lane, as he knows that he's moving up the lanes there. Only 4 laps separate him from Jackson. Both of them running a really good race here tonight. We can see that Carson doing a whole lot better than he's ever done. Every time the race happens, I see Carson getting better and better. But at the same aspect, I see Jackson, Weston, every race that they've raced, they're getting better too. So it's going to be a very interesting next couple months as we see these guys coming in racing on Sunday to see just how much they develop as racers. We see another neck and neck there, but a nice lift there done by Wyatt before he ran it on into the dead man's corner there. Usually you see more professional style racers there do those kind of lifts like that before going into dead man's corner. So it's interesting to see that that's already programming into his mind, that he is trying to settle his trigger finger a little bit just to stay on. Dead man's corner is a tough one to learn when you're first starting there, as you can tell there, especially down low. But Wyatt's doing a pretty good job there, not causing a whole lot of problems, and just trying to learn that rhythm. Coming off every couple laps there, it's tough. Another thing that's pretty hard for racers to learn at the beginning, we taught this to Weston, is when a track marshal goes to put your car back on, don't be in the trigger, because you're putting full voltage to that, and that car will never set down. It'll kick it right back out. So make sure to let the track marshal get the car on and then get in the trigger, or you're just going to be sitting there watching your car keep popping out. Usually our track marshals get them on within a lap or so it's not really a big deal. And like I said, it's just something that you learn as a racer. We can see Dana there not trying to get the car to pop there. And this is something I might express to Wyatt whenever I go out there next heat, just to let him know that, hey, when they're putting your car on, just let them get it on first. And once you see that the car's set down, then take off. That way that you don't pop out of the track. Now we can see a little bit more focus there done by him. Yeah, he's running a little bit slower. Like I said, he doesn't have the experience of the other racers. He's still trying to learn that braking point and struggling there on Purple Lane. But right up underneath him, we got Jackson there. He's really pushing hard as he's done gained him right at 5 laps up against Carson there on Orange Lane. So Jackson there on black running an impressive 58 total laps. Carson with 52 on his black lane, and Weston with 50. So Jackson out there in front of these guys by a little bit. Jackson come in yesterday and he was really putting in the work, him and Carson both, doing a lot of slot car racing. Carson even got involved doing a little bit of VR. I think he did some Beat Saber and a couple other games he was playing around with. But yeah, seeing Weston here, he come in Wednesday and did a full day of track time by himself. And we can see him advancing quite a bit too. As you can see the difference between him and someone that's fresh to the game here like Wyatt. Wyatt being right at 80 laps down. But like I said, this isn't, I got a little fly right here in my face, bugging me. This isn't Wyatt's issue here. Is he's definitely, just what I'm seeing right now, he's definitely going to draw to it and definitely speed up quite a bit. So it's good to see kids that can take to it well. They're not. Here's what you know when you notice that a kid's not going to be doing too well. If every single time they go around and they hammer it home into the wall. Well, I haven't even seen that one time from Wyatt yet, so I got a feeling that he's really focusing, trying to get it to go. And plus these guys, Weston, Jackson, you see Jackson there maybe trying to help him out there a little bit, and Carson there, all trying to help this kid out the best they can. Of course, they're just kids, you know. They want to have more people to race against, and I think it's fun just seeing them all have a good time. About 1 minute and 8 seconds before they go, just watching these kids be kids up there in the upper right-hand portion of your screen. You know, probably talking a little trash. I know when I was their age, that's what I did. Talked quite a bit of trash to the other racers. And old Jackson, he is the king of trash talking. I guess they're fixing to have a dance-off there between Weston and Jackson. Looks like they're trying to get Wyatt in on the dance-off. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. All right, racers, put your guns down. Are you ready to go racing? All right, watch your lights. I heard Jack say, I did put my gun down. They were acting like their slot car controllers were guns. They were pointing out at each other. They ought not do that. They ought to be good to each other. But I know it's all in good fun. We go by green race, and we see Jackson now. He's going to be moving on up the hill for the next 2 heats. This yellow heat probably not going to affect him too much, as I still believe there's only one other car down low below him, and that one car is Wyatt, as we get a session error here. 1 second, we'll get that back up for you. May cause us to drop some frames. I'm not for sure. Dropped a few, but we'll be okay. Computer running exceptionally better since we got that big fan on the front sucking out air. Currently around 30 to 40 is our CPU, and 38 is our GPU. So everything's on the up and up, running quite well there. Plus, it's a lot more simplistic of a stream now, and I think that helps it tremendously. We should here shortly be seeing some of our other racers start to come in. Right now it's 3:37. Usually around this time we'll start seeing some L&P guys coming in, working on their cars, tuning them up. As we see Jackson's car come all the way to the High Banks corner of the track, and also there on Black Lane, well, it looks like we got a couple guys coming in here, up in the upper left-hand portion of your screen. But we got a full speed come apart there. It looks like Tom's back. Good to see Tom back. I'll come out there a while ago and said, where'd Tom go? You know? And said, well, he left. He said he'd be back later. I see Clay Damon here. He's rolling up in here. He's staring at me right now, ladies and gentlemen. But I cannot give away my secrets. Clay right now. He's just going to have to wait. Ooh, sorry about that, folks. I put the wrong thing up. I put the road PC up, not what you guys wanted to see. Let me see if I can get the right thing over here for you. Here we go. All right, now we're right. Now we're right. Sorry about that. Hey, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I mess up. All right, racers, final heat. Watch your lights. He's getting excited. Woo! So this is the final heat. Sorry about the interruption there. I thought Clay was going to leave me without saying bye, and he didn't. So anyways, I had to rush out there real quick. I didn't want him leaving thinking I was just blowing him off because I wasn't. But anyways, we can see a real tight race developing there on the white and red lane between Weston and Carson. They're neck and neck. And this just goes to show you guys that those gear ratios, like I said, they're locked in. There is really no speed advantage to what they're getting. It makes them sound quieter and they're a little bit smoother. But they do lose the braking of the black gear and they lose the acceleration of the black gear. So it's kind of a preference thing, really. I just can't stand the way that they sound with the black gears. That's why I always change my stuff out. And as you can tell, Carson and Jackson both love the way that when the cars are a lot more quieter. They sound more like the 4-inch cars. We see Jackson coming up there on the inside of them there on Orange Lane. A minute left to go in this heat. And Jackson's got a pretty steady, about 10-lap lead against Carson there in second place. Carson doing quite well here. Going to put up at least a second place here, it looks like. Weston struggling a little bit today, having quite a few more wrecks than he did the previous week. And Wyatt, you know, for his first time out, quite impressed that he's in the upper 250s. So here he is running 270. That's pretty good, especially with someone that's never ran them before. And you can tell he's trying to learn that braking point there like the rest of the guys. And this is a perfect opportunity for these guys to show him the ropes. And I think they're doing a good job being good stewards of slot car racing here. Got quite a bit of a spread out here. Like I said, Jackson running 40 total laps so far, followed by Carson's 38, Weston's 38, and Wyatt's 37. Like I said, they're there neck and neck with each other. And I'm sure Wyatt, after running this race, he wants to go again as he's running there neck and neck with them this time. And he's got a competitive car there with him. One thing that I would probably change with that car would, of course, people like him. So at the end of that, we got Jackson, our winner, 406. We'll get a picture made with him and the rest of the guys there. Carson there in second place with 394, and Weston Durham there with 378. Weston going to take third place to second this week, and then newcomer Wyatt Hambrick, he's got 287 total laps and an average of 35.9 for his first time out. So we're excited to see if he wants to stick around and do the rookie rumble, see how well he'll do in there with a couple newcomers coming into that this evening also. But that's it for Little Rumble, ladies and gentlemen, and just want to say thank you guys for watching. God bless you on this Sunday, and tune back into us about 5:30ish, maybe a little bit after, as we get our LMP Thunder Series race up and going.